Okay, hi, and welcome to our podcast episode number 5 of GrowthArtic.com. And today we have, I would say, a really important topic, not only for startups, and it's target group.
Yes.
With an S in the end, maybe.
And there's a good reason why it has some parentheses that you cannot see on the video or hear on the podcast.
Target groups.
Yes.
So,
what do we mean by target groups?
I would say there are so many startups around and everybody is asking, okay, first of all, I have to identify my target group, right?
Yeah.
So the typical target group. And there's always Hendrik or Ben, can you help us? What are the ways to find and what is my typical target group?
You know what? I'm even happy if they are thinking about target groups.
About this.
Usually they come like, dude, I got a new widget to sell.
Yeah.
I got a new SaaS software as a service. I've built something in the last 6 months. Now I don't know who to sell it to. Yeah. So I'm glad when they start with target groups in mind.
Yeah. And I had some coachings for accelerator of big corporates, and they have really great products and they have prototypes already. And then you start, and then they want to start the marketing challenge, and they say, okay, who should buy your stuff?
Yeah.
And then they say, okay, it could be this one or it could be this one. And I remember, I think it was 1 month ago, they said, okay, the landlords, it was at Eon. The landlords said, okay, the landlords of a house should buy the stuff for the people they rent the flat. So, okay, that sounds complicated. Great prototype, great product. I said, okay, maybe that will be a challenge. Yeah. So what we want to talk about today is about target group.
Yeah.
What is the way to find, how to discover the target group, and why is it that important?
So I made a couple of mistakes in my journey around that. The first mistake I made was with my first SEO blog, Orchideenflüsterer. It's a blog about orchid care. Laugh, man. That was the first.
Can you translate it in English, please?
Orchid Whisperer. So go check it out. So what was the mistake about the target group? We quickly had 30,000 people per month on the website, and I earned my first dollar from AdSense, from anything online. This is the moment where I realized this is not a scam with this whole online marketing shit. I can actually earn money. And when we earned about 500 euros per month, I was like, shit, I only got to do this 10 more times and I have a decent salary. Yeah. But what was my mistake? I picked an audience that had a very low value to advertisers on the market. Yeah. Because the planned people are not that online very much, so not many advertisers bid on that. And even if they bid, they cannot bid as high as, for example, for my current drone site, where I really thought about, I need to have target groups. Yeah. So that was one of the mistakes I made, and that helps me now to think about, okay, what are really target groups? What do I want to focus on?
Same example. One of my first SEO sites was 2007 or 2008.
Yeah, mine was the same time, exactly.
And the domain was Kinderplanschbecken, I think .com.
It's like children pools.
Yeah, children pools. And I built it up, WordPress website. And it was a time where SEO was, if you know the basic rules, you could do something in the niche. And I built it. I start selling children pools via Amazon as Amazon affiliate, so pretty easy setup. And then it worked out. But in the end, I think the idea was not that good, because first fuck up was the children pool, not the big ones for the garden, right? The children pool costs maybe 10 to 20 euros, the small one, the baby pool, that makes you an affiliate commission of
40 cents or something.
Maybe 40, 50 cents. So you have to do a lot of effort, put a lot of effort for getting the traffic in, and in the end for 50 cents for a conversion.
Yeah.
Okay, that was mistake number one. Mistake number two was were not that many people buying children pools via the internet, because there are, when it's starting in April and May, there are all the shops are full with children pools, so there's no special reason to buy it in the internet. So that was my...
But the good thing about both ideas is, and the strength of those target groups was that competition was weak.
Yeah. So there was something, but it was not big enough to say, okay, I want to put more effort in this.
So if we are starting with niche sites, we are not very...
It was not the plan to talk about this today, but...
No, it's interesting, but because normally people come with a product to us and they think, let's sell it to moms, let's sell it to grandmoms, let's sell it to fathers, let's sell it to everybody in the world, in every hierarchy of a business. And they lack this, they lack focus on one specific target group, at least to start with. Talk to me about that.
Yeah. So startup, there are a lot of startups, and maybe you know that from Höhle der Löwen or Shark Tank, there's always a question from the investors. They say, okay, what is your target group? And then comes the first answer. I think that's the truth in most of the cases. And then, but we could sell it to them as well. And maybe later on, if we got rich, we can sell it to them. Where my experience is to focus on at least one typical target group, focus on that with all your money, with all your marketing effort, and build a perfect product for this target group.
Or products
for this target group. And then 1 year later, 2 years later, whatever, then you can start, okay, maybe there is one more target group, the neighbors, the neighbor areas or whatever.
Absolutely.
But you have to focus on one typical target group, because you don't have that much money as a startup. You don't have that much time to say, okay, we try this, we try this, we try. That is the discover thing, but you have to find one typical target group.
So when I had Maple Apps, the app incubator, we had this idea of generating like hundreds of landing pages and just build a couple of apps, but quickly out of the validated ideas. And the biggest mistake we made there was to make apps for very distinct audiences that had no overlap. We had a weather app, we had a to-do app, we had a shopping and cooking app, we had an app that told you the end of your life prediction based on like some weird data, and we had CSGO skills, an app for gamer, and later we had Gosu, a web chat app that was initially targeted for gamers, but not later. What we should have done was spend half a year on exploring target groups we want to pursue that are easily targetable and that don't have too much competition on it, but that are still valuable targets, and then build apps only for that target group. Like we had a big hit with CSGO skills for gamers. It would have been so easy to transfer users. Like, oh, if you like this app, or to build like a banner into the app, you could just transfer users over to the next app. Instead, we had to start again and again and again from zero, from nothing, a zero email list, because we threw away many email lists of 1,000 people, really, like at least like 30 we threw away because we couldn't use them anymore. Because we had no app product coming up that had any reasonable relevance to this audience. So focusing on a specific target group is so important. And within, like if you're selling stuff for dog people, that is still a huge target group.
So many ideas for products.
For dogs.
Dogs or animals.
But if you say like, oh, I want to target dog owners who are 13 to 18-year-old girls, that is a very specific niche, and that have, for example, Chihuahuas. That's big enough. Trust me.
And the channel for them is pretty sure something like Instagram.
Yes.
And if you say, okay, I want the Chihuahua owners from 40 to 60, I would say it's not Instagram. So
it's somewhere else.
It's somewhere else.
Facebook probably.
Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Google, maybe it's a guest posting for something for age creams or whatever.
But niching down to one specific thing is the secret to me. And then you can ask smart questions. And I think you have prepared something for that today, right?
Yeah. So my tool or my methodology for finding out what is my target group is called the customer desire map. So here's some credits to Chris out in the Netherlands.
Bam, Chris.
Hi, Chris.
Listen to us.
That was I saw this tool in one of his presentation and I stole it. And customer desire map is really easy to use because it describes your typical target group, so your customer, but from the emotional point of view. It's not the old school persona thing maybe you are aware of, so to say, okay, that's Hans, 42, driving a Mercedes, has a small family, a house in the Cologne Speckgürtel or something. So that's the old school stuff. The customer desire map says, okay, they describe Hans from the emotional point of view, and emotional things, emotional triggers are buying triggers.
So the first one is hopes and dreams.
Hopes and dreams.
What is that?
If you are able to think about your customer, what are their hopes and dreams, what are they looking for, what are they wishing for in terms of B2C and B2B, maybe we have to talk about this a little bit later. Find out what their hopes and dreams are. Some people want to go to the Maldives. Some people want to get married. Some people want to have
a Chihuahua.
A Chihuahua.
That is really pretty.
Or nice clothes, or a little bit more money, or want to gain weight or to lose weight. So hopes and dreams.
What people are moving towards. And what I learned in psychology, and what is the second part of the customer desire map, is pains and fears. What are people moving away from? Because that's like a carrot and a stick. You have the carrot. People moving towards their desires and dreams, but they are running away from the from the fears and pains they currently have. If you align those two, that's wonderful. Can you tell me more about fears?
Pains and fears. I think one of the easiest example is from the insurances. So insurances by design, so from the brand marketing, are not allowed to play or to do marketing with pains and fears. I say, as a salesman or a marketing guy, I say, that makes no sense, because for having insurances or for changing insurances, there's just one reason: pains and fears. For my life insurance, it's not for myself. It's because I have the pain or the fear that my family doesn't have enough money if I would die tomorrow. So it's pains and fears. Find out what are the pains and fears of people, and talk
to them, because that's where they are going to listen to you. If you start with the pains, then they're going to start listening
today,
and then you can tell them what they need to hear. But if you try to first tell them what they need to hear without them relating that to a current pain, it's very hard. So in the last one is also very interesting, the barriers and uncertainties. I always imagine the customer journey when people want to come from A to B. There are certain hurdles and barriers in between.
Some reasons.
And this is where we can place lead magnets and products.
In the funnel. It could be the price.
Yeah.
I want to have a Ferrari, maybe.
But my problem is the 250,000.
What is the barrier? Okay, I don't have the money for it.
Yeah.
So we could talk about this, how to get rid of this barrier.
Yeah.
Just one stupid example. And so if we talk about a little bit maybe about B2B, the barriers and uncertainties in B2B are always the same. From my point of view, it's always the organization. So think about a marketing team, and they won't start with growth hacking and using the cool tools or doing the data stuff, and so they are not allowed to.
Yeah, they have to go through legal, they have to go through IT security, they have to have the team resources assigned.
They don't have IT resources, so they need the IT department, but the IT department is always very busy with some more important projects.
And then it's our job to make that easier for them, to come from A to B quicker. So if you think about that, what are the hopes and dreams? What are the pains and fears? And what are the barriers and uncertainties? This is a wonderful thing. If you want to check it out, we're going to provide a link in the show notes where you can find the customer desire map, or you can just Google it. Kudos again to Chris out. You're amazing.
That's pretty amazing. And I use it for all sales calls I do, for every newsletter I send out or Facebook ad I publish. I always think, okay, to whom or who do I want to target, and just it takes 2 minutes if you're experienced with it.
So this is very top down, what we think is going to be the hopes and fears and pains from the customer, but there are also other ways to discover how you can find your customer. For me, I always like to do basic keyword research with Google Keyword Planner for AdWords. You can just use it to evaluate what are people actually typing into the search engine in relation, like relevant keywords, and how many people search that per month, and what the suggested bid is, which gives me an idea of how valuable this keyword is for many marketers. So for example, when I decided on how to name the drone site, I wasn't sure, should I call it quadcopter, drone, plural, singular, and
some typos.
Some typos, exactly. And I based that decision finally on what people were actually searching for on Google, and the Keyword Planner helps me. What do you use to discover?
This is a great recommendation, so maybe we can put it in the show notes as well. Just the link to the Google Keyword Planner tool. What I use in the beginning when I worked with a startup is Google itself. It's called Google Vorschlagssuche in German, so Google Suggest.
Yeah, it is Google
Is it cool? So that the people are looking for their problems. They're Googling for problems all the day. Maybe something hurts, or looking for, we want to go to the Maldives, or we are looking for... So they're looking for problems, not for the solutions. And so we have to find out what are the real customer needs. Think about the customer desire map. There are some customer needs integrated as well. And then start Googling and make a space. And then you get the Google Suggest, so the suggestions of the most common keywords are combined with your phrase.
You can also find them always at the bottom of the site.
Yeah, right. And have a deep look in this kind of keywords, because it's a perfect proposal how to do content marketing or how to do your marketing, because Google is really magic, and they are really good in the data stuff. So that's not randomly what's shown there. It's just the most common keywords for people looking for your solution.
Practical, very easy, no nerdy tools.
Easy.
If you like nerdy tools, I have 2 suggestions. Google Analytics from your current traffic data. You can see what age and gender groups you have on your website, and what interest groups they have. They are the same interest groups you can later target on AdWords. The second one everybody love to try out is called Facebook Audience Insights. When you see this tool, you know why Facebook is for free, and why Zuckerberg was in front of the Senate.
Senator, we run ads.
Senator, we run ads. So, and the reason why Facebook is so awesome at running ads, and I spend 80% of my money that I spend on ads on Facebook, is this customer audience insights tool. It essentially, you can target, you can use a big interest group like, let's say, Tesla Motors. And everybody who likes Tesla Motors or has been surfing on their page, given that there was also a pixel there, they will tell you exactly what other pages they like, what musicians they are into, what magazines they are reading, what websites they hang out on, how much income they have, which cities they are most active in, whether they are more likely to be married or not. And I tried to find a couple of those very close-knit interest groups and put them into the audience insights tool from Facebook and really study the customer, because my competitors are essentially giving me that data through Facebook, which I'm sure they don't like to hear.
And you find this in the Facebook Business Ad Manager, right? And if you click on Tools, and it's called Facebook Audience Insights.
Exactly.
So,
yeah.
great.
So those this is the nerdy stuff. I will do. So to close it up, what can we do once we have an audience? How do we develop from there?
I would start with Google. Start Googling, or my question always is, okay, if a customer wants to find your solution, your product, your service, your offering, what would he Google?
Or what would he put in Amazon? It's
or
another
Amazon.
big search engine.
And it's not your brand, because you're not Coca-Cola, it's not your brand. So that would be the first question from my point of view, to start finding the real target group.
Okay. So and once really you have people that actually buy your stuff, and they have been qualified as a good audience, you can start to listen to them, to collect feedback, and to do customer development surveys with them. And there you will quickly discover that your product might be right beside what they actually want. Or you notice that a target group within your given product is especially active, even though you didn't expect it. Yeah, maybe it's the second largest group you had in mind, but they are using your product in surprising ways and much more active than other ones. So just listen to your current customers, observe them, and then make decisions about what is the next audience I want to focus on, or what is the next product I want to build for that audience, right?
Yeah, that's totally right. And what I make clear is, take a valid decision in the end, not because you talk to one customer and he told you a completely another story you heard before. Just take it as feedback, think about this, and in the end take a valid decision and focus on one target group. Get all the feedbacks in, make the segmentation, put them together in groups or in categories, and then in the end focus on your one and only target group.
Cool. So on GrowthArtic.com we will have the show notes, and we will link to you the customer desire map, and that would be our challenge today for you guys, that all of you just sit down for an hour and spend some time really thinking about the hopes and dreams, the fears and pains, and the barriers and uncertainties your customers have.
It will help you out.
Okay, so those are the first 5 episodes of GrowthArtic, and we are really happy with that.
Proud. I would say we are proud.
And we would love to hear from you if you agree. And we're not going to tell you what we're going to do next, but this is the batch we are going to launch with. And you can discover us on YouTube, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Spotify, on SoundCloud. And we would really love to hear from you. Give us a shout out, for example, at growthartic.com. You will find our contact data over there. So see you in the next episode.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.